Did you notice that the Rams offense has completely reinvented itself since their last Super Bowl? So, how much has changed, and why does it matter? Let's dig into it. When the Rams won the Super Bowl in 2021, their offensive approach was already a notable departure from what Sean McVay's early teams have looked like in LA. During his first couple seasons, McVay's teams were primarily under-center offenses that thrived on zone runs and throwing big crossing routes off play action, and they lit the league on fire with it. The Rams led the league in play action rate in 2017 and 2018. And ranked top 5 in EPA per dropback over those 2 seasons combined. But in the back half of the 2018 season, something changed. Defensive minds like Vic Fangio and Bill Belichick put together a blueprint for the ideal way to give McVay's offenses trouble. With ideas from McVay's system now spreading around the league, this blueprint became the defensive meta around the NFL, defined by more two-high structures to create indecision from the quarterback and clog the area McVay's play-action offenses most wanted to attack. In 2017, McVay's Rams faced the fewest dropbacks of two-high shells before the snap, with only 38.5% of their passes coming against those looks. By 2020, that number had crept to 42.3%, with the Rams ranking near the middle of the pack in total dropbacks against two-high looks. That year, offenses faced more snaps of two-high shells than single-high for the first time in the modern NFL. McVay's old approach no longer felt viable in a rapidly changing landscape. So, he decided to start over. The Rams' trade for Matthew Stafford in early 2021 wasn't just about swapping out Jared Goff for a new quarterback. It was also about finding a different sort of quarterback. Goff was and still is excellent at firing intermediate throws to the middle of the field. The Rams' hope was that Stafford could broaden the scope of the passing game. By that season, the two-high revolution was in full effect. During that year, a staggering 67% of the Rams' passes were into two-high pre-snap alignments, and McVay constructed a new system aimed at solving that riddle. In a world where offenses knew what coverages a team would be playing, they could simply dial up plays tailored to beating those coverages. But when the defense is giving away nothing pre-snap and can roll to any coverage they want as the play begins, those beaters become far less effective. The plan was to use the nature of Stafford's arm and the structure of the offense to make any option and any throw available at any time. All-purpose plays was McVay's term for them, designed to provide answers no matter what sort of confusion these defenses might be trying to sow. And instead of operating from under center, where the defense could change in the split second before the quarterback turned his back, the Rams pivoted to a more shotgun-based approach. In 2020, the Rams were under center on 56.5% of their plays, the second highest rate in the league. By 2021, that number had dropped to 41%. Their play-action rate went from about 34% to a below-average 23.5%. It was undoubtedly a new world. This was the Rams' offense the year they went to the Super Bowl. A shotgun-heavy, spread-out attack that still threw the ball all over the yard. The 2021 Rams still have the highest empty rate since Next Gen Stats started tracking those numbers. And instead of using those looks to get the ball out quickly like most teams do, McVay used them to sling the ball all over the yard. And it worked. The Rams had a top 5 passing offense during the regular season before Stafford went on an absolute heater throughout the playoffs en route to winning the Super Bowl. When you win a championship, the defective parts of your offense don't matter very much in the moment. But on the Rams' run to a title, a flaw to their new approach had become exposed. During the playoffs, McVay's team posted just a 23.3% rushing success rate, while averaging just 2.7 yards per carry. The Rams' running game, once their calling card in McVay's early years, had become an aspect of the offense that had to be overcome. As the Rams basked in their Super Bowl win that offseason, and the wheels started coming loose on their title defense effort, the running game continued to lag. LA finished 26th in rushing success rate in 2022, as injuries mounted and the team crashed to a 5-12 record. That season took its toll on McVay and the franchise, and they walked into the following year hell-bent on not letting it happen again. While focusing on the pass game transformation in Stafford's early time with the team, McVay would likely admit that he and his staff let the run game emphasis atrophy more than they should have. The Rams needed a reset, and in the spring of 2023, they got one in a couple ways. That year, the Rams hired new offensive line coach Ryan Wendell and drafted hulking 330-pound guard Steve Avila in the second round. On the eve of the season, LA traded a late-round pick for Steelers guard Kevin Dotson, another 330-pound mauler for the middle of its offensive line. In the early years of McVay's tenure, the Rams were primarily a zone-based running team, favoring wide zone looks from under center during his first couple seasons, before starting to emphasize what the McVay tree calls mid-zone runs as the years went on. But in 2023, McVay turned that approach on its head. That year, the Rams primarily became a gap scheme running team, prioritizing downhill runs like duo that had not been as much of a focus in years past. The sheer bulk of the Rams' offensive line allowed them to unlock those concepts. But the quicker-hitting nature of those straight downhill runs was also a better solution for a two-high world that forces safeties to fit the run from depth. By completely reinventing their run game, The Rams solved the problem that had been plaguing them for 2 years. LA went from 26th in rushing success rate to the top 5, and they haven't looked back since. In many ways, the 2025 season has been the culmination of the run game plan that McVay set into motion 2 years ago. On running back runs this year, the Rams posted a 50.1% success rate, the highest mark in nearly a decade. They ripped off 49 explosive runs of 10+ yards, an area that had lagged in recent years even as the ground game became more efficient. One of the main tweaks to the Rams' rushing approach this year is also one of their biggest schematic changes of the entire McVay era. Even as other elements of the Rams' offense began to evolve since Stafford arrived, their personnel approach remained mostly static. From 2021 to 2024, the Rams used 11 personnel, 1 back, 1 tight end, and 3 receivers, on a league-high 87.2% of their plays. No other team was even in the same zip code. This season, that number has dropped all the way to 58.7%, the 16th highest rate in the NFL, and a number that would have been unthinkable under previous iterations of the McVay offense. The drop has coincided with the Rams using more 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight ends, and 1 receiver at a nearly 30% clip, nearly double the second highest rate in the past decade. The Rams' triple tight end looks provide different surfaces for defenses to combat in the running game, but they also give McVay more juicy base defense looks to attack than he's ever seen during his time with the Rams. Over the past 4 seasons, the Rams had thrown just 217 passes against base defense, by far the lowest mark in the entire league. With the influx of 13 personnel usage, Stafford has thrown 130 passes against base looks just this season, and he's absolutely shredded them. Of all the schematic changes the Rams have undergone since their last trip to the Super Bowl, McVay's return to his play-action roots may be the most fitting, a full-circle moment for one of the league's true innovators. Over the past 2 years, the Rams' usage of under-center looks and play-action calls from those alignments started to tick up again, before finally exploding in 2025. The Rams led the NFL in play-action usage yet again this year, something they haven't done since 2018. The coolest part, though, is that even McVay's return to the play-action world comes with its own twist. When McVay and Goff were terrorizing the team with play-action in 2017, it was mainly off in-breakers and crossing routes designed to attack the intermediate middle of the field. This year, that approach has shifted. The Rams lead the league this season in play-action throws outside the numbers. As defensive structures have changed over the past 8 years, McVay has changed what his play-action plan looks like. In place of crossers and digs are more corners and outbreakers. Instead of attacking the intermediate areas of the field, more and more of the Rams' play-action attempts are quick dump-offs into space. The way he's attacking teams has changed, but the benefits of using all this under center and play-action remain the same as they were when McVay leaned on them back when he first got the job. By starting with run action from under center, different plays look the same. The hesitation that defenses were trying to create by moving to a too-high world has been put back onto them. It's a fitting way to close the loop for an offense and a coach that remain on the cutting edge of the NFL. The Rams' offense may look a lot different than it did the last time they won the Super Bowl, but the mindset powering it, always trying to find ways to stay a half step ahead, have never really changed. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, check out last week's breakdown of how Seattle built the perfect modern defense. And if there's anything you'd like to see before the Super Bowl, let us know in the comments.